We've been looking forward to doing this episode for a while. Hair care is really important to both of us. And we've been talking with so many different ladies, getting advice in regards to their favorite masks and treatments and everything like that. So tonight we're going to share some of that with you, as well as some of our personal hair experiences or disasters and kind of what led us to be so passionate about it. For me, myself, I know that if it's not something that I can make at home with very simple ingredients, I'm probably not going to do it. So I don't know about everybody else. I know everyone's super busy and, you know, it's hard to kind of put that kind of time and effort into hair management. But I think some of our stories that we have to share can kind of point to the importance of it. And when it's stuff that you have in your own kitchen, it's all the easier. Like this evening, I put the baby to bed, I came downstairs, we got everything prepped. We received a lot of emails. So over the past couple of months, we've been asking on Instagram and Twitter, asking friends of friends for their advice and what their favorite hair treatments are with ingredients that you can make at home. So we picked the top 3. One of them I picked specifically because I actually tried it several years ago. Some of the emails that I got in had a little bit of variation. So it's important to know, you know, these are all natural ingredients. You can kind of put your own spin on it. If you find one thing works a little bit better or by increasing the amount based on your hair length, then go ahead and do that and see what works for you. And it's also important to note that not everything is going to work for everybody. So something that I personally loved, my sister did not, and vice versa. So have fun with it, try them out, see what your main goal is hair-wise and what your main needs are, and kind of go from there. But tonight, we picked these 3, because they seem to be the most popular. So these ingredients kept popping up in everybody's suggestions and some of the recipes as well. You can find them all online in various blogs. So we wanted to always do a little bit of research and get feedback before we tried anything. So as soon as we started kind of researching the ingredients, the purpose, it's so much a wealth of information is available online. So when I first tried one of my favorites that we're going to go over tonight, I actually don't even remember where I got the recipe from. I believe it was a hairdresser that told me. But when I started Googling it, so many people are recommending it. So you can always find it. We'll go over the simplest ways to make them this evening, as well as with as few ingredients as possible, but ingredients that we know work and have tried. We also have picked one that I'm going to try myself over the next 6 weeks. And Sarah has picked one that she's going to try over the next 6 weeks. And then we will come back with results and recommendations for you. So before we kind of get started, I want to share a couple of hair stories of myself. So today I have very long hair and I take good care of it. It's almost 24 inches, which is probably the longest. Some of that is because of quarantine. I just haven't been getting out as much, but I do love long hair. And I used to wear extensions when my hair was very short. So I love not having to do that anymore, though I do love extensions, and we will do a fun show about that and about extensions to use that will never damage your hair. So a little bit of a backstory. Throughout probably my teen years, my early 20s, I was always a blonde. I love blonde hair, much like Sarah does, and blonde hair did not love me. So my hair naturally, if you can see, these are my natural roots, is a pretty dark brown, and it just does not like bleach. So for years and years, I would bleach it, and I would try, to have Britney Spears hair, which led to one of the hair disasters. And it's not so much the processing of hair, it's not so much coloring your hair, it's not having your hair prepared to handle that type of treatment that it's going to have. So I immediately, started researching that. By preparing your hair for color treatments, you really do prevent a lot of damage. And then aftercare is very important. I used to think it's just, shampoo and conditioner in the shower and you're good to go. But if you love hair irons, if you do get your hair dyed often, then you really have to maintain it with follow-up treatments too, to make sure that your hair is receiving moisture and it's staying balanced as well. So a little bit of a funny story that I can laugh about now. I call it the hair disaster of 2012. My hair was about probably up to here at the time, and it had been blonde for many, many years. And I was just really tired of, doing the roots and the upkeep. And I thought, I want to go really dark. It's never a good idea to decide what you want to do with your hair late at night when, you know, you can't really book a salon treatment. So I don't know if Sarah remembers this or not. I just thought, you know, I'm going darker, so you can't damage your hair if you're going darker. And I bought it from the drugstore. I bought like a box dye from the drugstore, and the girl in the box looked really pretty and her hair looked really shiny. So I came home and it was a do-it-yourself dye job in the bathroom. It actually looked kind of good in the beginning. And long story short, when you have light hair underneath it, when it's not dyed properly, it starts to show. You end up with green streaks. I dyed it again. And there was quite a bit of dark dye in it. So fast forward almost a year later, and I was really sick of it. I wanted the blonde back. And I knew that I wasn't going to do that at home. So I went to a hairdresser who really seemed like he knew what he was talking about. And he said, absolutely, you know what, we're going to strip your hair and we're going to go back to blonde. It's going to be pretty easy. It takes a couple of hours and you're good to go. Fast forward 4 hours, and it was the most damaged my hair has ever been in my life. It was like a stack of hay. It was so dry. The color was awful. I couldn't even comb it because it was so damaged. And it was literally just breaking off every time I would shower. I know some ladies probably know what I'm talking about. The extra parts, the extra bleached parts would just snap off and like an elastic fall off. So I ended up with a bob cut, not a cute bob cut. It was a all over the place, different lengths, super dry cut, which I ended up wearing extensions for, which actually helped me grow my hair, but that's another episode. Anyway, so that's my hair disaster story. And ever since then, I've really put a lot of effort into taking care of my hair. I have gotten it dyed and treated many times since then, and I've never experienced the same, thankfully, unfortunately. So I do make sure that, you know, hair masks and hair care are really a part of my routine, if not once a month, at least every other month. But if you're just beginning, or if you do have damaged hair, or there's a problem that you're trying to fix with your hair, some of these recipes that we're going to go over tonight call for doing it maybe every 2 to 3 weeks in the beginning until you see your desired results, and then just maintenance based on how you see fit. Sarah has really beautiful hair. She does use a lot of different heating tools. She has curly hair naturally, so she styles it with irons. And I thought it'd be funny if she shares with us her nightmare hair situation and kind of what led her to take hair care very seriously.
I probably could write a book on the number of times that I have cried probably when I have left the salon. Yeah, but yeah, bleach, I guess, in general is very damaging. I do love it. I have tried going dark. It's just, I can't stand looking at myself with dark hair. So yes, so bleach it is. But like Leah said, the most important part is to making sure that you nourish it enough from the root, so it can basically take the constant torture that the bleach does to it. So weekly masks are so important, and I find that they really, really help. The moisture it gives your hair basically balances out the drying effects of bleach. Not saying that it works perfectly, but it makes a huge difference. It makes a world of difference. And it keeps the color, I find it also much more vibrant and much shinier. It helps, but not for it to look as brassy that it sometimes can. And the more damaged your hair is, I find it, the more your blonde would look more dull and more brassy. So yeah, it's just weekly treatments, or at least a couple of times a month for sure, to make sure that it stays hydrated. So important.
Yeah, so I'm sure everybody's got a story like that. And whatever your recommendations are, don't forget to DM me on Instagram or Twitter. It's at Hey Leah Zullo, HEYLEAHZULLO, and let me know your recommendations, or let me know what you'd really like to try, and we can feature it on an upcoming show. Thank you to all the ladies that shared these with us. I'm excited to get started with them tonight. The first one that's up is going to be sweet avocado. So this is what Sarah is going to do over the next 6 weeks. She's going to try it out on her hair. We're just going to show the ingredients and how to make it this evening. So easy. And you probably have all of these things in your kitchen right now. And then we'll kind of report back with our results. But I'm excited about this one. So I'm just going to grab it from here and we'll follow along. So basically it's avocado, which we've pre-mashed in, saving time. And you use 2 ripe avocados. So for Sarah's hair, that's good. For my hair, just based on your length, you're gonna wanna add as you go. So if you're adding more avocado, add a little bit more of each ingredient and you'll play it out. You'll feel the right texture. You'll know what feels right for your hair length. But I find with a lot of these recipes, I usually double the quantity just for my length of hair. So we are going to take this right now. We're gonna start mixing it in this bowl. We're gonna do, it's basically 2 ripe avocados that are mixed and already mashed and blended. So we're gonna put them here in the bowl. And then we have 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And this is to really kind of make it blend together and make it really nice and creamy. So we are going to add that on here. Sometimes I like to just put olive oil on my tips before I take a shower and I just leave it on for a few minutes before I go. It doesn't smell the best when you do that, so make sure it's before a good shower with lots of shampoo and conditioner that you're using in there. And we're going to also add 2 tablespoons of honey. So this is why the olive oil becomes super important here, because honey and avocado alone is going to create a very sticky paste and you're not going to be able to rub it through your hair or even get the benefit of it. So we have honey over here. I'm just going to use a different spoon and we're going to do 2 tablespoons and then get everything mixed in nicely. Now I would love to put this on Sarah's head right now, but you have to have wet hair. So what I normally do with any of the masks that call for wet hair is I take a shower first. I usually just shampoo once because more often than not, I have products in my hair or just leave-in conditioner and you don't want to have anything in your hair. So you just want it to be clean, fresh, damp hair. So she's going to have to do it after the show and then we're going to film it. We're going to take some pictures and we're going to share it with you on Instagram as well as the follow-up. So just basically what we're noticing over the next couple of weeks and then different styles that we do. I find with some masks, I get really great benefits when I'm using a curling iron and my hair just cooperates more and the curls stay. And then when I'm trying to straighten my hair, that exact same mask that was so beneficial for the curls doesn't get the hair as straight and sleek enough as I wanted. So we'll kind of give feedback based on different styles as well. Right now I haven't styled my hair at all. This is just how it falls naturally. So I am looking forward to trying one of these at the end of the show because you can do it on dry hair. So Sarah's going to do that for me towards the end. But basically with the sweet avocado, we have the ingredients together. So you're basically going to take a fork, which I'm going to grab, and just kind of continue to mash the avocado and get a nice mix with the honey and the olive oil. And I don't want to tip this over too much, but you'll see that the mask remains chunky and it's supposed to, that's okay. As long as you've mixed everything well enough and it creates a nice consistency where you're able to start, down here, rub it through your hair and then work your way up more and more. The ends are more important than the root. You don't want to get too much of it in the root when it's a moisturizing mask because it can just end up making your hair flat and your roots don't need it as much as your ends do. So if I were to put this on Sarah right now, I would make sure that she has wet hair. I would comb it through, part it in the middle to make sure I'm getting even distribution. And then I would just use my hand, get a good blob of it in my hand, rub it together. And then, sorry, I wouldn't scratch her face, but I would start rubbing it from the tips and then continue to work my way up. If your hair is not very damaged, I do recommend using a wide tooth comb and combing the treatment through it. If you do have damage, do not try combing it once the honey is in there because it's just going to tug and create a lot of hair pulling and it's just not a good idea. I find when hair is very damaged, it's not even good to really comb it when it's wet. So avoid that and just keep rubbing it on and make sure it's just getting into all of the strands really nicely. So that is literally all it takes. You leave it on for 30 minutes. There are 2 different opinions. So some ladies have said that they've had really great success when they have this in their hair. They've put the hair up with a clip and they've put on a shower cap and blow dried over the cap. So I understand where that thought comes from with the heat, and they do say that the avocado really reacts well to the heat, and it kind of binds it really nicely in your hair. I personally will try it. I'm going to give that a try. And then I've had some ladies give me advice saying, do not do that because the honey just became stickier and it was much harder to wash out. So I think it really is a preference. And then again, based on the level of health of your hair, probably if it's drier, if it's damaged, if it's trying to grasp on to the mask, try at your own discretion. Maybe we'll have Sarah give it a try with the blow dryer because her hair is pretty soft. We're going to try it combing it through as well. And then we'll upload the video onto my Instagram so you can kind of see the process of it too. So that's it. This is recommended to stay on for 30 minutes every 3 to 5 weeks. If you have healthy hair already, I wouldn't do it every 3 weeks. I would probably do it maybe every 2 months or so. And if you are looking to kind of help with the damage, then I would start 3 weeks, every 3 weeks and kind of go from there. So basically it makes hair easier to style, it prevents damage, it makes it smoother. And Sarah's gonna let us know what she thinks.
Will do.
So that was number 1. Number 2, I call tried, tested, and true. This is my absolute favorite for people that have hair damage, for women that have just had babies and are having that postpartum hair loss. Basically, whatever type of hair loss or breakage you're having, this is amazing. I did have a lot of postpartum hair loss. At some point, it would just come out in chunks. Luckily, it seemed like it was growing back at the same rate, so I didn't really notice anything here. But my bathroom floor noticed it. My vacuum cleaner noticed it, and it was definitely it was shocking. And this worked so quickly. I literally started doing it maybe twice before I noticed some results. I think I did it a little too often. They say to kind of try, every 3 weeks or so. I was doing it every week for the first 2 months because I was just loving the results. And after that, I think I did maintenance maybe once every 3 months or so. So I haven't done this one in a while, but I really, really do love it. So I kind of want to get in that right now. This is our second featured mask of the evening. This one is probably the most recommended from everybody that we kind of got feedback from. So you're basically taking 2 sweet potatoes. Again, base it on your hair length. I would take 3, and my hair was a little bit shorter back then. So you take 2 sweet potatoes, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, 2 tablespoons of yogurt, and 1 tablespoon of raw honey. So I'm gonna have my lovely assistant, Sarah, whip that up for me here. We're gonna put, just to be able to show it a little bit better to the screen, we're actually not gonna do the right amount. We're just gonna do a good ratio to show the consistency. So if you mash that, I just wanna show how thick it's supposed to get. And we'll take this, and we'll do so normally we would be doing 2, but we just want to show consistency here. And then we'll go with the same amount for the honey, but tone it down. This I love because it actually, believe it or not, smells really nice too. And the yogurt has a really nice cooling sensation on the scalp. So that's perfect. That is perfect. So this is the consistency. This is the color, the texture. It actually kind of looks like hair conditioner. If you see,
it's very creamy.
It's very creamy. It actually looks kind of yummy. Let me see. It is kind of yummy. So that's that. Super easy. It's actually really delicious. I wouldn't recommend eating it though. I've never eaten it before. And with that, you basically start at the roots and you work all the way down. Again, it has to be on damp hair. Give it a try. You leave it on for 30 minutes. And so many benefits from sweet potatoes when it comes to vitamin A, beta carotene. It really, really helped me with the loss. I hope if you're suffering from hair loss, it helps you as well. Let me know if it worked for you or if you tried something else with the same results. Lastly, before we end the show, I really want to try this myself. So this one got me super excited. One thing that really annoys me in the winter time is hair static. And normally it comes from dry hair. I don't really have dry hair. I do everything I can to avoid having dry hair, but it's something I continue to battle every winter. I always get toque when I take it off. You know, I think it's the stuff that we wear. We're wearing more wool. I don't know what it is, but this is apparently going to get rid of that. So I'm going to try this tonight. I'm going to Instagram it, and hopefully it's the answer that I've been looking for. So it's the yogurt mask, and it's super soothing for the scalp as well. If you suffer from dandruff or dry scalp in the winter, it's going to be amazing for that too. I think about 7 different people told me that. So fingers crossed, let's see how this goes. It's the easiest recipe of the night. 1/2 cup of yogurt, 1/4 cup of honey, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So we have all of that here. I'm gonna whip it up in this. And then after the show, I'm gonna put it on, Instagram it over to you. So 1/2 cup of yogurt we already have in here. Actually, I'm gonna use that. The 1/4 cup of honey, we are going to mix the remainder, which will give us the 1/4. That looks like it would taste good too. Kind of looks like breakfast. And 2 tablespoons of olive oil, which is what we have left over here. Whip it together. Olive oil makes it look not so much like breakfast, and I don't really want to taste it. But the consistency is much runnier and creamier than the previous mask that we showed you. So you should be able to have it run off the spoon and really easily have it apply onto the hair. So you start at the root, which will help with the scalp. You work your way all the way down. It's going to be on dry hair. So it's really going to start sucking it up and really absorbing it. So you work all the way to the tip. I, again, wouldn't recommend combing it through, especially if it's on dry hair. I would just kind of rub it or go in a circular motion all the way down to the tip, and then wrap it up, clip it up tight with a hair clip, leave it on for 30 minutes. I personally go a little bit longer than every suggestion. I find if I like something, I keep it in there. I say, let's see what else it can do. I would stick to 30 minutes the first time, or even a little bit less. Always see how you feel, see what you like. All of these recipes can be found online. They are on multiple blogs, multiple health websites, and so many different people on Instagram have already recommended it, and there's so many videos that you can check out. But we will also post ours, so please remember to check back with us, send us any suggestions you have, and if there's anything that you are waiting to try, let us know. You can find me at Hey Leah Zullo on Instagram and Twitter. That's HEYLEAHZULLO. And you can watch Beyond Wellness every Monday night at 8:30 on the H.E.R network, channel 251 on ZINGOTV, and also on the Barn Burner network. If you think of any other suggestions you want us to try as we are trying these masks this evening, hit me up on Instagram or Twitter and let me know, and we will upload some photos. I think Sarah will be probably trying this one here with me. So maybe we'll do a video together and kind of go from there. But let us know your suggestions. The next couple of shows, we're going to be featuring masks that you can make at home, as well as body scrubs and different suggestions that we have kind of come up with through the ladies that we've spoken to. So don't forget, I'm your guinea pig for all things health, wellness, and fitness. Let me know what to try, and I will bring it to you Monday nights at 8:30. Thanks, guys.
Good luck.
So I'm going to take this over for you. Mix this one up. And then this one we already know is awesome. Maybe we'll have Mom try that one later. And then I'm going to take this one from this. And we get to eat all these sweet potatoes because we made extra before. So this one, we're going to make more because I think you have to put a little bit more for your length of hair.
Yeah.
So you're going to do, even if you do kind of half your head, and then we'll put the rest from there. And avocado, we did half of it, so we're going to have to double.
I think this is pretty good.